Welcome to Literary Journeys with River. Today we continue with the 6th book of the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Remember, this is just a summary, not the full book, but it's designed so you can understand every secret, every decision, and every crucial moment of the story. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, leave a comment telling us where you're listening from. This helps the video reach more people and grow the channel. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Muggle Prime Minister, overwhelmed by a disastrous week of unexplained accidents, receives an unusual visit from the Minister for Magic, Cornelius Fudge, who reveals that the recent catastrophes have been caused by Lord Voldemort, returned and more dangerous than ever. Fudge, dismissed after losing control of the magical crisis, introduces his successor, Rufus Scrimgeour, a fierce-looking wizard who imposes new security measures and confirms that the Wizarding War has begun. The Prime Minister feels powerless in the face of dangerous creatures, mysterious deaths, and the invisible threat of the Dementors. As memories of previous visits flood in and fear for national security grows, he realizes that magic is deeply tied to the recent chaos. Without much choice, Scrimgeour imposes magical surveillance over the government. In the end, both ministers vanish through the fireplace, leaving behind a world divided between the visible and the hidden. Chapter 2. Amid thick fog, Narcissa Malfoy and her sister Bellatrix Lestrange stealthily appear in a rundown Muggle neighborhood on a secret mission. Despite Bellatrix's opposition, Narcissa seeks help from Severus Snape, desperately wanting to protect her son Draco from the dangerous task Voldemort has given him. Snape welcomes them into his dark, grim home, accompanied by the unpleasant Wormtail, who serves them reluctantly. Bellatrix, full of suspicion, bombards Snape with accusations, questioning his loyalty to the Dark Lord, but he refutes them confidently and convincingly, proving his ability to deceive both Dumbledore and Voldemort. Distraught by the threat hanging over her son, Narcissa pleads for help. In a dramatic twist, Snape swears to protect Draco and complete the mission should he fail. With Bellatrix as a witness, they perform the unbreakable vow, sealing a pact that will alter everyone's fate. Chapter 3. Harry sleeps in his room, surrounded by newspapers speculating on the prophecy, Voldemort's return, and Fudge's fall. A letter from Dumbledore announces his imminent arrival, and though Harry is anxious, he hasn't packed. When the doorbell rings, Dumbledore enters the Dursleys' home effortlessly, surprising everyone with his presence and calm authority. In the living room, he reminds them of their duty to protect Harry until he turns 17. He also reveals that Harry has inherited Sirius Black's possessions, including Grimmauld Place and the house elf creature, who resists but ultimately obeys Harry. Dumbledore confirms the legitimacy of the inheritance and arranges for Buckbeak to stay with Hagrid. He then prepares Harry to leave. In a solemn moment, the wizard bids farewell to the Dursleys and takes Harry with him, stepping into the darkness of a new chapter in the war. Chapter 4. Harry joins Dumbledore on a mysterious mission that takes them to the quiet village of Budleigh Babberton, where the headmaster introduces him to the eccentric and elusive Horace Slughorn, a former potions professor. Slughorn, hiding to avoid Death Eaters, pretends to be away but is found disguised as an armchair. Though hesitant to return to Hogwarts, his admiration for Harry and his nostalgia for his influential former students persuade him to accept. Dumbledore cleverly uses Harry to entice Slughorn by highlighting his fame and connections. During the journey, Dumbledore talks to Harry about his scar, occlumency, inferi, and political changes in the ministry. Before arriving at the Burrow, Dumbledore praises Harry for convincing Slughorn and warns him that the professor may try to get close due to his fame. He also informs Harry that he will receive private lessons that year. Chapter 5. Harry arrives at the burrow at dawn with Dumbledore and is warmly greeted by Mrs. Weasley and a somber Tonks. After saying goodbye to the headmaster, he enjoys a comforting dinner and learns that Arthur Weasley has been promoted at the ministry. The next morning, Hermione and Ron excitedly wake him, and everyone is surprised to hear that Fleur Delacour is engaged to Bill Weasley. The news causes tension, especially with Mrs. Weasley, who would have preferred Tonks as a future daughter-in-law. Over breakfast, Harry shares the prophecy with his friends, who support him unconditionally. They also receive their OWL results. Hermione earns 9 outstandings, Ron gets 7 passes, and Harry, though passing most subjects, scores only and exceeds expectations in potions, closing the door on his dream of becoming an Auror. Nevertheless, the support of his friends and the promise of private lessons with Dumbledore give him renewed hope and determination for what lies ahead. Chapter 6. During peaceful holidays at the Burrow, Harry plays Quidditch with Ron, Hermione, and Ginny, while troubling news from the magical world looms: disappearances, deaths, and Dementor attacks. At his birthday party, Remus Lupin shares disturbing updates, including the death of Igor Karkaroff and the disappearance of Ollivander. The Hogwarts letter brings a surprise. Harry has been named Quidditch team captain. The trip to Diagon Alley is arranged with extreme caution by Mrs. Weasley. On the way, Hagrid joins them as a security escort, replacing a team of Aurors. The alley has changed: closed shops, ministry posters, and an overall sense of fear. At Madame Malkin's, they encounter Draco Malfoy and his mother, who threatens Harry. After a tense exchange, Narcissa and Draco leave. Harry begins to suspect Draco's hidden motives as the group continues shopping in an unsettling atmosphere. Chapter 7. While Harry suspects Draco has joined the Death Eaters, neither Ron nor Hermione take his concerns seriously. Harry notices Malfoy hiding his left arm, reinforcing his theory about the Dark Mark. The journey to Hogwarts is tense, with Aurors monitoring the train. Harry tells Mr. Weasley what he saw in Borgin and Burke's, but he downplays it. On the train, Ron and Hermione go to the prefect's carriage, and Harry sits with Luna and Neville, who remain proud of their actions at the ministry. Invited to the compartment of the new professor, Slughorn, Harry attends an exclusive gathering where the professor shows a clear interest in students with influential ties. Later, under the invisibility cloak, Harry spies on Draco, who hints at a secret plan and possibly leaving Hogwarts. Malfoy discovers Harry hiding, and in retaliation, he petrifies him, breaks his nose, and leaves him abandoned, hidden in the train. Chapter 8. Still cloaked and injured, Harry lies immobile on the train after Malfoy's attack. In distress, he tries to retrieve his wand without success until Tonks finds him and helps him off just before the train departs. They walk to Hogwarts as she heals his nose and sends a Patronus to report his location. Tonks reveals her new role as a school protector, but Harry notices she's changed, gloomier. At the entrance, Snape greets them with his usual disdain, mocks Tonks, and penalizes Harry with point loss. He escorts Harry to the Great Hall, where the blood-covered student reunites with Ron and Hermione, who treat his wounds and express concern. During the feast, Dumbledore announces that Snape will teach defense against the dark arts, enraging Harry, who deeply mistrusts him and recalls his link to Sirius's death. Chapter 9. Harry, Ron, and Hermione begin their sixth-year classes amid rumors of Draco's supposed mission. Despite his friend's skepticism, Harry remains convinced. Hermione receives a packed schedule, and Neville is denied entry to Transfiguration, frustrating his grandmother, though Professor McGonagall offers him an alternative. In Slughorn's potions class, Harry borrows an old, heavily annotated textbook. By following instructions from a mysterious half-blood prince, He brews the best potion in class and wins a vial of Felix Felicis. Hermione is suspicious of the book, while Ron supports it. During lunch, Ginny is disturbed by the annotated book, recalling Tom Riddle's diary. Harry insists it's safe, though Hermione remains wary. They eventually find a note revealing the book belonged to the Half-Blood Prince, deepening the mystery. Chapter 10. In his first private lesson with Dumbledore, Harry learns about Voldemort's family passed through a memory in the Pensieve. They travel back in time to witness a ministry official visiting the Gaunts, a poor, violent family obsessed with their pure-blood Slytherin lineage. The old man, Marvolo Gaunt, abuses his daughter Merope, while her brother Morphin attacks a Muggle. Tom Riddle Sr. Ogden, the official, witnesses the family's dysfunction and learns Merope loves the Muggle her brother bewitched. After the family's arrest, Merope is left alone and eventually runs off with Riddle, likely using a love potion. Dumbledore explains that Merope, Voldemort's mother, died after being abandoned by Riddle, who never knew he had a son. Finally, Harry notices Marvolo Gaunt's ring in Dumbledore's office, and the headmaster confirms he obtained it, along with the injury he sustained in the process. Chapter 11. School life becomes exhausting for Harry, Ron, and Hermione as they juggle endless homework and the challenge of mastering nonverbal spells. While Harry excels in potions thanks to the Half-Blood Prince's book, Hermione grows increasingly uneasy with his success. Tension rises with Hagrid's absence from the Great Hall, which worries the trio. Despite their differences, they decide to visit him after the chaotic Quidditch tryouts, where Harry, as team captain, organizes a disorderly audition day. Ginny stands out with 17 goals, and Ron, secretly aided by Hermione with a Confundus charm, secures the keeper position over an outraged McLaggen. Hagrid, hurt by his students' lack of interest in his class, greets them coldly but becomes emotional when speaking about the imminent death of Aragog. The chapter ends with Harry suspecting Hermione used magic to help Ron win his spot. Chapter 12. The Hogsmeade visit is dampened by bad weather and a troubling encounter with Mundungus Fletcher, whom Harry catches selling stolen items from Sirius's house. Harry is furious upon discovering Mundungus has taken from his godfather's legacy, but Tonks intervenes before things escalate. During the outing, tensions rise among the friends, especially as Harry shares new suspicions that Malfoy might be plotting something from within Hogwarts. On the way back to the castle, something chilling happens. Katie Bell is cursed after touching a necklace of opals, sent by someone with malicious intent. Harry recalls seeing it years ago at Borgin and Burke's. Leanne, Katie's friend, reveals she was supposed to deliver it to someone at Hogwarts. Harry suspects the necklace was meant for Dumbledore and accuses Malfoy, but McGonagall dismisses the theory, saying Draco was in detention all day. Chapter 13. In his second private lesson with Dumbledore, Harry delves deeper into Tom Riddle's past. Through Caractacus Burke's memory, he learns that Merope Gaunt sold Slytherin's valuable locket out of desperation. In an older memory, Dumbledore visits the orphanage where Riddle grew up, a boy already displaying a dark nature, manipulating other children and keeping stolen objects as trophies. Young Tom is thrilled to learn he's a wizard and accepts the invitation to Hogwarts, revealing his thirst for power, independence, and uniqueness. Dumbledore notices troubling traits: cruelty, a need for control, fascination with the forbidden, and an early ability to speak Parseltongue. Back in the present, Dumbledore warns Harry about Riddle's obsession with collecting trophies and his hatred for his own name, marking the beginning of his transformation into Lord Voldemort. The chapter ends with a reflection on the growing threat he poses. Chapter 14. As the term progresses, Harry continues to share insights from his private lessons with Dumbledore, though he still doesn't fully grasp their purpose. During a herbology class, Tensions rise between Ron and Hermione due to Ron's jealousy of McLaggen and the Slug Club. Meanwhile, Harry worries about his Quidditch team, as Katie Bell remains hospitalized, prompting him to recruit Dean Thomas as a new chaser. Training becomes complicated when Ron's insecurity leads him to accidentally injure Demelza, sparking an argument with Ginny. The most shocking moment comes when Harry and Ron catch Ginny kissing Dean, which triggers a heated confrontation between the siblings. Harry, increasingly drawn to Ginny, tries to convince himself his feelings are merely brotherly, but his jealousy suggests otherwise. Romantic tensions among the trio start to boil over. Chapter 15. With Christmas approaching, Hogwarts fills with decorations, but tension lingers between Ron, Hermione, and Harry. Ron, blinded by jealousy over Victor Krum, starts dating Lavender, which hurts Hermione deeply, even as she pretends not to care. Caught in the middle, Harry tries to remain neutral. When Slughorn hosts a party, Harry invites Luna Lovegood to avoid girls trying to enchant him with love potions. Hermione, in turn, attends with McLaggen to provoke Ron, but the evening ends in disaster. Later, Harry overhears a crucial conversation between Snape and Draco Malfoy, learning that Snape made an unbreakable vow with Narcissa to protect Draco, who is carrying out a mission from Voldemort. Defiant, Malfoy refuses Snape's help. Hidden under his invisibility cloak, Harry listens in and realizes Draco is plotting something dangerous, but he still lacks proof. Chapter 16. During the Christmas holidays at the Burrow, Harry tells Ron about the suspicious conversation he overheard between Snape and Malfoy, revealing that Snape made an unbreakable vow to protect Draco, a spell Ron confirms would be fatal if broken. Fred and George bring levity with jokes about Ron's girlfriend Lavender, stirring both family tension and comic relief. Lupin arrives with important news. He has been infiltrating werewolves on Dumbledore's orders and reveals that Fenrir Greyback, the violent werewolf who bit him as a child, is working with Voldemort. Lupin tries to justify Snape's behavior, reminding Harry that Dumbledore still trusts him. At Christmas dinner, Kreacher sends Harry an unpleasant gift, and Percy's appearance with Minister Scrimgeour causes discomfort. Later, Scrimgeour tries to manipulate Harry into becoming a public symbol for the Ministry, but Harry firmly refuses, reaffirming his loyalty to Dumbledore and frustrating the Minister's political agenda. Chapter 17. Back at Hogwarts, Harry, Ron, and Hermione resume their routines, though romantic tensions linger, especially with Lavender still doting on Ron. Harry tells Hermione about the conversation between Snape and Malfoy. While she still doubts Snape's guilt, she begins to consider Draco's possible link to the Death Eaters, especially through his connection to the feared werewolf Fenrir Greyback. The new term brings apparition lessons, exciting the students. Later, in a new lesson with Dumbledore, Harry is shown two crucial memories about Voldemort's past. In the first, Tom Riddle murders his Muggle family and manipulates his uncle Morphin to take the blame, stealing Marvolo Gaunt's ring in the process. In the second, a young Riddle asks Slughorn about Horcruxes, but the memory has been clearly altered. Dumbledore reveals Slughorn tampered with it out of shame and tasks Harry with retrieving the original, hinting that it holds a key secret to Voldemort's immortality. Chapter 18. Harry shares his secret mission to retrieve Slughorn's memory with Ron and Hermione, but their conflict prevents a joint conversation. Ron believes Harry will succeed easily, while Hermione insists it involves highly advanced dark magic and urges a strategic approach. In potions class, Slughorn gives a challenging task. Hermione shines, while Harry struggles until he uses the Half-Blood Prince's advice, choosing a Bezoar as an antidote. Slughorn praises him and awards points. Encouraged, Harry asks about Horcruxes, but Slughorn, visibly disturbed, refuses to answer. The trio discusses the incident, but the rift between Ron and Hermione deepens. Apparition classes begin with an eccentric instructor. Meanwhile, Harry becomes more suspicious of Malfoy and uses the Marauder's map to follow him, though without success. Chapter 19. After Ron is poisoned by mead originally meant for Dumbledore, everyone is shaken. Harry becomes a hero by saving him with a bezoar. While Ron recovers in the infirmary, Fred and George suggest the attack wasn't aimed at him. Hermione connects the incident to Katie Bell's cursed necklace. Harry grows more suspicious of Malfoy and Snape, especially after learning of a secret argument between Snape and Dumbledore. Concerned, Harry recruits Kreacher and Dobby to spy on Malfoy, ordering them not to alert anyone. Meanwhile, Ron unintentionally consumes love potion-laced chocolates meant for Harry, leading to an absurd scene. Slughorn, trying to cheer him up, offers poisoned mead, nearly killing him. In Quidditch, Harry is forced to play McLaggen as keeper, but a serious accident caused by McLaggen sidelines Harry, though his thoughts remain fixed on Malfoy's suspicious behavior. Chapter 20. Harry and Ron are discharged from the hospital wing and happy about Ron's reconciliation with Hermione. Luna gives Harry a new invitation for a private lesson with Dumbledore, and Ron surprisingly warms to her eccentricity. In Dumbledore's office, Harry overhears a furious Trelawney complaining about being replaced by Firenze. Dumbledore then shows Harry two more memories. The first reveals Tom Riddle requesting a defense against the dark arts teaching position at Hogwarts, which Headmaster Dippet denies. In the second, Voldemort, now working at Borgin and Burke's, visits Hepzibah Smith, an elderly woman who proudly shows him two precious artifacts, Helga Hufflepuff's cup and Salazar Slytherin's locket. Days later, Hepzibah is found poisoned and Voldemort vanishes, taking both stolen relics with him. Chapter 21. Harry struggles to find a way to retrieve the memory Slughorn is hiding, but with no success. Meanwhile, Dobby and Kreacher reveal that Draco Malfoy has been using the Room of Requirement, along with Crabbe and Goyle, who take Polyjuice Potion to guard the entrance disguised as students. Harry realizes the room doesn't appear on the Marauder's map, and that he can't access it unless he knows exactly how it's configured under Malfoy's use. During one of his attempts, he runs into Tonks, who appears despondent and is looking for Dumbledore. She speaks of troubling rumors and seems hurt when talking about Sirius. Harry suspects she was in love with his godfather. Later, while Ron takes apparition classes in Hogsmeade and Hermione impresses with her skill, Harry tries again without success. In the end, he reaffirms the need to focus on Slughorn's memory, though Draco's actions continue to obsess him. Chapter 22. Harry feels defeated, having failed to retrieve Slughorn's memory or find proof against Malfoy. As Ron and Hermione prepare for their apparition exam, they receive a note from Hagrid announcing Aragog's death and asking them to attend the burial. Though Ron and Hermione decline, Harry remembers the Felix Felicis potion and decides to use it if his next attempt with Slughorn fails. After another unsuccessful try in potions class, he finally takes the potion. Guided by a lucky instinct, he heads to Hagrid's cabin and bumps into Slughorn. He convinces him to attend Aragog's funeral by appealing to his interest in the valuable acromantula venom. At the burial, Slughorn collects a sample, and over drinks and stories, Harry moves him by speaking about his mother's sacrifice and the need for truth. Touched, Slughorn finally gives him the real memory. Chapter 23. After obtaining the memory, Harry rushes to Dumbledore's office, where the headmaster receives him with excitement. Together they relive Slughorn's complete memory. In it, a young Tom Riddle inquires about Horcruxes, showing a disturbing eagerness to split his soul into 7 parts. Slughorn explains the act requires murder. Dumbledore confirms their suspicions. Voldemort created several Horcruxes to achieve immortality. With the diary and the ring already destroyed, Dumbledore believes the remaining objects are Hufflepuff's cup, Slytherin's locket, something from Ravenclaw or Gryffindor, and Nagini. He reveals to Harry that he personally destroyed the ring and that his search continues. Harry is thrilled when granted permission to accompany him on future missions. Dumbledore also clarifies that the prophecy only holds power because Voldemort chose to believe it. Harry realizes his determination to stop Voldemort is not out of obligation but from a conscious decision rooted in love and justice. Chapter 24. Harry tells Ron and Hermione what he learned from Dumbledore about the Horcruxes, leaving them both impressed and worried. Meanwhile, romances are falling apart. Ron breaks up with Lavender, and Ginny ends things with Dean, sparking new hope in Harry. Katie Bell returns to school, but doesn't remember who cursed her with the necklace. Hermione suggests it may have been a woman in the bathroom. Harry considers using Felix Felicis to enter the room of requirement, but Hermione convinces him to save it. During a patrol, Harry finds Malfoy crying in a bathroom. After a heated confrontation, Harry uses the spell Sectum Sempra, severely wounding Malfoy. Snape appears in time to save him and demands to know where Harry learned the spell. Terrified, Harry hides the Half-Blood Prince's book in the room of requirement. As punishment, Snape gives him Saturday detentions, forcing Harry to miss the crucial Quidditch match. Chapter 25. Harry's relationship with Ginny draws attention, but he remains oddly unaffected by the gossip. His happiness contrasts with the continued tension between Hermione and Ron and the lingering mystery of the Half-Blood Prince. Hermione reveals she found information about Eileen Prince, a former student who might have written the potions book, but Harry insists the author was a man. Later, he receives an urgent note from Dumbledore summoning him. On the way, he runs into Professor Trelawney, who tries to hide Sherry in the room of requirement but is thrown out by someone celebrating inside. Alarmed, Harry suspects Malfoy has succeeded. Trelawney then reveals that Snape was the one who overheard and reported the prophecy that shaped Harry's fate. Enraged, Harry rushes to Dumbledore's office, where the headmaster confirms Snape's actions but assures Harry of his complete trust in him. Despite his fury, Harry vows to obey all orders during the dangerous mission they are about to undertake. Chapter 26. Dumbledore and Harry travel to a remote, desolate cave where Voldemort hid a Horcrux. To enter, Dumbledore cuts himself and offers his blood, revealing a dark passage to an underground lake. At its center glows a greenish light, marking the Horcrux's hiding place. Using magic, they summon a hidden boat and cross the eerie lake, beneath which inferi, dead, reanimated bodies, float ominously. On the island, they find a basin filled with potion protecting the Horcrux. Dumbledore drinks it, growing weaker and tormented by horrifying visions. Harry, fulfilling his promise, helps him endure the pain. Afterward, when he tries to get water for Dumbledore, the inferi attack. Just as hope seems lost, Dumbledore conjures a ring of fire to drive them back. Exhausted, they return with the Horcrux, and Harry helps the frail headmaster make his way back. Chapter 27. Harry reappears in Hogsmeade with a severely weakened Dumbledore, but their relief turns to dread as they see the dark mark over Hogwarts. With Madame Rosmerta's help, they grab broomsticks and fly to the castle. On the astronomy tower, Dumbledore orders Harry to fetch Snape and not to interfere, but before he can leave, Draco Malfoy arrives, disarms Dumbledore, and reveals he allowed Death Eaters into the school using the Vanishing Cabinet. Draco hesitates to kill Dumbledore, who offers him protection. When the Death Eaters arrive and push him to act, Snape enters. As Harry watches unseen, Dumbledore pleads with Snape, who then casts the Avada Kedavra curse. Dumbledore is blasted into the air and falls from the tower, dead beneath the ominous green glow of the dark mark. Chapter 28. Freed from Dumbledore's immobilizing spell, Harry chases Snape and the Death Eaters through the chaos of the battle, ignoring pain and danger. Greyback attacks him, Ginny duels Amicus, and Ron, Lupin, Tonks, and McGonagall fight elsewhere. Harry reaches the grounds and sees Snape fleeing with Malfoy. Though he tries to stop them, Snape effortlessly deflects his spells. During the skirmish, Snape reveals that he is the Half-Blood Prince and escapes after Buckbeak charges. Amid the destruction, Hagrid's hut is set ablaze. Harry helps put out the fire, and together they face the grim truth. Dumbledore is dead. Hagrid, unable to believe it, listens as Harry recounts the tragic moment. As they return to the castle, Harry sees the shocked crowd gathered around Dumbledore's body below the tower. Chapter 29. Devastated, Harry is led by Ginny to the infirmary, where he finds his friends injured but alive. Bill has been savagely attacked by Greyback and left disfigured, his future uncertain. Fleur declares her love for Bill, dispelling Molly Weasley's doubts. Tonks, too, confesses her love for Lupin, who resists due to his condition. When Harry explains what happened, everyone is stunned. Snape was the killer. The mournful song of Fawkes fills the castle with haunting sorrow. McGonagall meets with the heads of houses to discuss the school's future. Harry insists that Dumbledore should be buried at Hogwarts and that students must remain for the funeral. Back in the common room, he gives Ron the fake locket found in the cave, which contains a note signed R.A.B. As the school grieves, Fawkes flies away forever. Harry realizes Dumbledore is truly gone, and that he now faces the future alone. Chapter 30. Following Dumbledore's death, Hogwarts is plunged into mourning. Classes are cancelled, and some students leave, while others gather in Hogsmeade to attend the funeral. Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Ginny stay close, cherishing their remaining peace. Harry grapples with grief and guilt, reflecting on Snape, now tied to the mysterious Half-Blood Prince. Hermione confirms Snape is the son of Eileen Prince, solving the identity puzzle. On the day of the funeral, magical figures gather by the lake. Members of the Order of the Phoenix, former students, centaurs, and mermaids. Hagrid carries Dumbledore's body, which is enveloped in white flames and sealed in a marble tomb. Harry ends his relationship with Ginny, hoping to protect her from Voldemort's reach. Later, he refuses the minister's support and reaffirms his mission, to find and destroy the Horcruxes. Ron and Hermione vow to follow him to the end. And that brings us to the end of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, a story where truth is revealed, but at a devastating cost. We've seen how Voldemort's past shapes the present, how trust is tested, and how sacrifice changes everything. Thank you for joining this journey filled with secrets, tension, and irreversible choices. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it with other fans. Now tell me in the comments, do you think Snape was truly loyal to Dumbledore? Or was it all a betrayal? Which part of Voldemort's past shocked you the most?